How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to BryceBits, where you can get a little bit of wisdom. I'm Bryce Newberger. I'm a pastoral mentor with Side-by-Side Counseling based in Arizona. Let's dive on in. So we are going to be back in bad roommates, bedroommates. So let's give this one a look. My roommate refuses to dishes most of the time. My roommate refuses to dishes most of the time. I don't want to be a plate or a bowl either, so I can't blame. Just kidding. All right, let's read. Dishes haven't been washed for almost 2 weeks now. All right, you seem a little upset. I have never posted to Reddit before, but I figured this issue warrants a post. All right. I'm living in an apartment with my sister and am in college. Oh, it's sister. Listen, roommate versus sister is different. It just is, okay? Same expectations, but let's be honest, it's a different relationship. Let's see. I brought up the issue to her numerous times. The grammar's a little challenged here. I've brought up the issue to her numerous times of her lack of cleanliness when it comes to the kitchen. I have to beg her to do dishes. Despite us having a now working dishwasher, it was broken before, hence the reluctance from her to wash the dishes. Now that the washer is up and working, she still barely does the dishes, and it's getting to the point that some weeks it just stinks from old coffee and cooking. This week is throwing me for a loop, and I've been more than fed up. She is my sister. The more economical choice is to live with her for now until I graduate. Okay. Most of the time, I end up washing half the sink of the dishes because we only have a set amount, and of course, I have to use them to cook. I tried being understanding of it with her studies taking a chunk of her time. She gives me these kind of BS excuses for why she can't do them. I'm busy at the moment with homework, or I'll do them tomorrow, which oftentimes lasts for 2 weeks or a week before she finally does them. It doesn't help that she doesn't contribute to other chores like cleaning up after herself in the living room or taking out the trash. She doesn't even cook much, so I'm relegated to doing pretty much all the housework. The only time she pitches in besides when she feels like it is when a friend comes over and she shows that she can be capable of cleaning. I don't know what to do since my parents said I have to stick with her, and single bed apartments/studios are expensive where I live. Please help. Thanks. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this. Do you have a right to be angry? Yes, absolutely you do. It's your sister, though, not a roommate. I mean, she is a roommate too, but siblings are tough. Siblings are tough. I think if I lived with my middle brother, I would probably kill him. And I think if I lived with my oldest brother, he would probably kill me. And that's just how it works. A wise man once said, if you can't tell someone to go to hell, then you can't negotiate with them. And I think that's your problem, right? That's the problem with this living situation, is you will need to figure out a way to find your happiness that doesn't rely upon your siblings or your sibling. So if they're not going to do the dishes and all your whining and complaining and communicating and, beseeching your parents to step in, which isn't necessarily a bad idea in this situation. If all that's not working for you, then you need to move out and make go of it yourself. And you will say, I can't afford to do that. Well, there's a cost, right? You can either, it's funny, Jack Sparrow, what a man can do, what a man can't do. That's Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Sparrow. Can you live with dirty dishes in this situation? Maybe you can. Or can you move out and find a way to go to college, pay for studies, all that kind of stuff? I can tell you this, human beings do. Human beings don't live with their siblings and do put themselves through college, right? So I was given advice to someone once who was given a car. It was a young college student. She was given a car, and she said that her parents were holding the car over her head and using it to do all this horrible stuff. Now, in reality, I didn't really see that, but it seemed like she had great parents taking care of her who were holding her to be more responsible, and she didn't like that. But what I wanted to empower her to do was to find out that she didn't need that car. And really, honestly, it was getting in the way between her parents and her. Right? The gift of the car that her parents gave her was somehow making her resentful of her parents. And so I told her like, well, you don't really need the car. She's like, well, I need it to work. I need to get to school. And I was like, yeah, but what do you mean by need? Like, it's not oxygen, right? Like, people will live on the street. Now, I wasn't encouraging her to live on the street, but my point is, you're capable of more than you think you are. And once you realize what you're capable of, you are more apt to find creative solutions, right? What we do is when we get into a situation like this, what we're saying is, I want this situation to just go away. I don't want to make any changes, right? And to be fair, like that's fair. You should be able to have an expectations for the dishes to be done, for chores to be done, to live with an amicable roommate. But you don't. And you can't just snap your fingers and make your roommate change. The locus of change, where the change comes from, has to be you. It has to be internal, not external. So a victim mentality says, I'm a victim because I'm in this horrible situation. My parents won't help me. My roommate/sister won't help me. I'm stuck. A victim can't do anything. They are shackled and they are hopeless. However, if you can find power, then while you can be a victim of what's going on here, like that's not fair, you can rise above it. You can move on. You can move out. You can move up. You can creatively problem solve. And so my problem here with this one is that, you're venting on Reddit. Great. Okay. Get it out of your system, right? In a safe place where it doesn't have any ramifications. But now, if venting is not enough, right? If you vent and you feel better, oh, there we go. Okay. I feel, I got it out of my system. I can go back to living in this bad situation where dishes aren't being done and I'm not being respected. And right. Well, then, right. Good. Great. That's your solution for now, because you're saying I need to suck it up and get through college. Right. And get through, until you graduate. And I imagine it's college that you're talking about here. Right. So if you can't, then don't. If you can't, then don't. Find a better situation. You can try, there's communication tactics we could walk through and we could talk through. If we were working together, if you were scheduling sessions with me, we would focus on communication strategies first, family dynamics first, beseeching your parents first, right? That kind of thing. But the reality is, looking at your situation and how it's going, it's probably not going to change. It's very difficult to change how siblings treat you and behave. And if your parents are saying, hey, figure it out, deal with it, then there it is. So the next step is, well, what are you capable of? Can you move out? Is it better for you to move out? Is it worse for you to move out? Let's count the cost, right? Let's count the cost of each situation. What's the cost of the current living situation? And what's the cost of moving out? The cost is not just money. The cost is time, it's mental health, right? It's all of that. So counting all of the costs will help you do a cost-benefit analysis to realize what the best situation for you is. If you can't communicate with the problem, you can't do that. So that's why I started off with saying, if you can't tell someone to go to hell, then you can't negotiate with them. Now, that's not my quote. I'm stealing that from Jordan Peterson, but and I don't know if he stole that from somewhere else. But if you can't lay down an ultimatum, if you can't enforce your boundaries, then you are a victim. You have no choice, right? So you got to find a way around it. We got to find a way to empower you to not be a victim anymore. And that starts by either having the ability to kick them out or having the ability for you to leave, which would create a worse situation for your sister. So if you would find a way to get out and go somewhere else where you have it lined up, you've got roommates, you've got all the stuff ready to go, and you're going to tell your sister, hey, I'm moving in with these people. Good luck paying rent by yourself. You tell your parents, hey, I'm moving in with these people. Good luck paying the other half of sister's rent or whatever, right? Is that an option? Is it not? I don't know. It's a complex situation, right? That's why you should schedule a session with me. Let's read some of these comments real quick and see what the community has to say. This is going to sound very standoff type behavior. However, when I had a housemate who was similar, I had to do the following. With kitchen dishes and anything left out, put it outside her door. Keep stacking it up. Just make sure you clean up after yourself completely. There is an element to that I like. I had a roommate. We were struggling to live together. It was similar situations like that where dishwashing is a thing I feel like for most roommates until you learn how to live together or someone's the bad actor there. But I had my own dishes. So I washed my own dishes, right? So if his dishes were dirty, his dishes were dirty. If my dishes were dirty, my dishes were dirty. We didn't share. So it was like, hey, my dishes are going to be clean. And if they're in the way, I'm going to move them out of the sink and I'm going to put them on a counter somewhere. And so in front of the room sounds kind of funny. But right, the idea is let me get your dirt out of the way so I can be clean. And, it's an option, right? The better option is to move out or move them out. But, you find a way to live. Any bathroom issues, I used to use gloves to put all her toilet paper and used pads in the bag and left in front of the bathroom door. Is that a thing? There's another post from weeks ago where it was a pad left out. When her food was way past date, I put it in a bag again in front of her door. I love it. Whenever she kicked off, I asked her why she can't be an adult. Why can't you deal with your own used toilet paper? Be nice and smile. Look like you genuinely don't understand why they're upset and having their nasties in front of their bedroom door. They learn to go away quite quickly. That's hilarious. That's funny. That's a creative solution, right? And that's an interesting solution. I think with a sibling, like I said, I might kill my brother, my older brother, my oldest brother might kill me. I never had to live with my siblings outside of the home, but outside of our childhood. But yeah, like have your own stuff, keep it clean, don't clean their stuff, and find a way to relocate their dirty stuff. That's a good temporary solution. I like that. OP should also have a set of dishes they leave in their room so they don't run out. Smart. Yeah, smart, actually. That's one thing I didn't do with my roommate is, and it was a short time that I lived with him, but he would, he might use my stuff and then it's dirty. And now I'm washing my stuff, but I didn't use it. So keeping in your room is an interesting situation. I didn't have that option because I was living in a studio apartment. It was a bad situation. Surprised if she waits till the dishes ran out and then expects OP to clean them. Okay. So you had a broken dishwasher, got it fixed, yet somehow still have a broken dishwasher. That's funny. People fail to understand that cooking is a process that goes through to clean up. If those are your pots and pans, keep them in your room. If not, put them in a dollar store laundry basket and leave them in front of her door. That's interesting. Multiple people are saying that one. Stop cleaning up after her. Buy some disposable stuff and just clean up after yourself. Smart. Paper plates, right? Don't cook for her. Don't tidy up after her. Keep all your stuff in your room and let her live in her filth. Yeah. It can attract roaches and carpenter ants and stuff that do affect you, though. Have you talked to your parents about this? Are they paying for the apartment or is she? They're paying for it. They said they don't know what to do either. Yeah, well, there it is. Like if mom and dad won't step in and arbitrate and you've tried to communicate to sister and she won't, change her action, then you're receiving a benefit from your parents, which is the free room and board. But it's coming at a cost. So it's not exactly free, right? So you might have to ask yourself, would you rather pay money than deal with this, right? Because right, some people, I would rather pay money than live in that situation for sure. Have you called her out on it? Yes, several times. When I do nowadays, she just ignores me and walks away or says I'll do it later. Yeah, that's avoidant behavior. So, that's my advice, guys. If you're dealing with these kind of situations where you're having a difficult roommate situation, difficulty arbitrating with your parents or your siblings, just life is chaotic and messy. Well, you can schedule a session with me at sidebysideaz.com. We can do a free 15-minute consultation. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next one. It's been fun. Bye.